if someone had like was it a gun, something? Like, what's the point then? What do you need ninjutsu? I can just shoot you, fam. What's the point?
You have to know how to do both. You have to know how to do both, man.
8 Trigun, 64 Glocks. What are you talking about?
I said 64 Glocks.
Marina, 그림이죠.
Okay, you're listening to the AK Mindset. Please beware of spoilers for shows such as One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, My Hero Academia, Haikyuu, and others. If you're not caught up with the manga yet, we advise you to listen carefully, and we hope you enjoy the show.
The AK Mindset.
Just because it's easy.
Yeah.
I think there's only Boruto that's there now. Even Black Clover stopped, so there's only Boruto that's left. One Piece and Boruto.
Oh yeah, if we go about Boruto, we'll see about that anime. Whether I'll go and watch it again. Have to wait and see.
Well, I guess we should segue and then talk about some anime that we think have some great animated scenes before we go back to the production side of stuff.
Demon Slayer, obvious choice, episode 18.
What's your favorite?
Gas.
19 month.
19, oh sorry. Yeah, Gas.
Okay, actually, before we move on, apart from that scene, what was another scene that you liked about that anime? Because there was a lot of good
Demon
scenes.
Slayer?
Yeah.
Zenitsu. Anytime Zenitsu went crazy with his ability, it was so clean. Especially, the guy that was hitting drums, the African man.
Yeah.
Was playing the bongo. Yeah. Those few episodes were so good. The twisting of the
3D rotation.
Like oh, then with Tanjiro and Zenitsu, it was good. Even when he was fighting with some people don't even remember it that much, but when he was fighting with Inosuke, and Inosuke was doing his craziness, so his flexibility. Oh, I was like, that's when I knew it's like, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the series. Because the animation was just clean.
See,
those
people forget, and they're like, oh yeah, it's just episode 19. Like, it was consistent throughout. Like, even episode 2, you see, like when he's running down the mountain, that scene is so good. Like the way they animate his movement.
He was fighting I forgot his name, the Water Hashira.
Oh, Giyu.
When he was saving, when he was saving him, when he was saving his sister.
Yeah, that was a good scene too.
Great animation. Then when Giyu came back and actually killed that guy, the animation for that.
Rui.
Demon Slayer, the whole episode was beautiful. In fact, obviously, people just leave it to episode 19.
The thing is, with Demon Slayer, a lot of people have been saying that apparently the anime is carrying the manga. That the anime is actually
obviously, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, it is. The manga's still lit,
Very much so. Manga is good. How do I shoot? Like, manga is like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Solid, good anime, good show. And the anime just brings it to like a 9.5. So it carried it. Like, you can see with the manga sales and stuff, and like basically the animation saved the Japanese economy. That's how good it was. So yeah, but the manga is good. I would never say like it's a bad experience, but the anime, I just watched the anime instead of reading the manga personally.
What about you, Rizal and Rotimi? Do you have any scenes in Demon Slayer that you liked? Apart from 19, because that's a cheat code.
What about the I've forgotten their name, it's been so long, but the guy who had that one move?
Oh, Zenitsu. So the same as Ed. Okay.
Oh yeah, we already mentioned that one. Which one? But he had two moments. He had the one way first.
Oh, the sixfold. The sixfold. Are you talking about that one? When he's find the spider?
Spiders, yeah.
They had the spider one, yeah, and then they had the one where it was in that room where the guy, when he played the drums, about the concept of that. Also, we have to mention Demon Slayer, the concepts that they come up with are very, very creative. Like the way the different villains attack is very, very original. I love that. But yeah, Demon Slayer particularly, I guess that's one of them. I think Ed pretty much mentioned the main ones. But if we were to go outside the Demon Slayer, One that I mentioned is, although I've been cussing Boruto out, the Naruto and Sasuke versus Rosuke fight, obviously that fight with that is it Momosuke? What was his name of the guy you were fighting again?
Momoshiki.
That fight, that was nuts.
That's gas.
And the music,
Sasuke and Naruto going ham.
Yeah. It's like the best moments of Boruto are to do with them two, which is why.
Hey, Rots always sounds hurt. At some point when he talks about Boruto, the Naruto and Sasuke, man's like, it's letting him down.
Yeah, before I
letting him down.
Before like I really got into anime, like Naruto was the show I was when it was on Jetix. Naruto, man.
Throwback.
Classic. That was classic, Naruto is one of the best shows out there. And what they do, I'm hoping they can pick up. Maybe I can go back and watch it, because I think some of the things they do bring technology into it. Some people don't like it, but I think it's a good idea. It's a way to expand it. It's a way they could, make people.
It's 50-50. I mean, I saw someone. Was it someone had like was it a gun something? Like, what's the point then? What do you need ninjutsu? I can just shoot you, fam. What's the point?
You have to know how to do both. You have to know how to do both, man.
8 Trigun, 64 Glocks. What are you talking about?
That's a 64 Glocks.
One of the scenes I like in was Sasuke versus Kinshiki.
That's a good scene. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
When he was with his Venegan and stuff like that, he was gliding across the screen. It was so beautiful. Yeah, Boruto has some good animation. Even the new animations with Kawaki being introduced. Kawaki is the shining ray of Boruto lately, but the animations that they've been doing it's been good.
I'm gonna throw a couple names, but I'll do the Jujutsu Kaisen one first. Gojo's when he did the amplification technique,
the main expert,
the blue reversal, red.
Oh,
the visuals for that. When he made purple with the blue and the red.
Yes,
the visuals for that. Oh my days, I was like, bro. Took me back to elementary when we were mixing up the color palettes. That's what it took me back. It was a throwback. Blue and red makes purple. I was like, I see you, Gojo. I see you. Well, other outstanding scenes I would say from anime, Violet Evergarden.
Yes, sir.
There's so many scenes to pick up from, but I really loved the attention to detail when she was learning how to use the typewriter. Just like simple things like that from Violet Evergarden just show how much care and love was put into this series, and every animation point, crazy, absolutely crazy. March comes in like a lion or a madness. I watched a little bit of March came in like a madness. Season 2. I've been trying to finish that series, man.
How come I say what?
What is it called? I
March comes in like a lion.
Lion?
I thought you did that on purpose.
Hey, wait. I didn't.
You said my mum.
I didn't. I know it's March. I don't have any particular scenes, but I do want to put attention to all the scenes where it's high emotion or high trauma or high, when there's intense moments, the artistic value, just the beauty of how they're able to express emotion and feeling and thought in different forms is actually crazy. It's actually like Daniel knows. It's actually stupid. Like I don't know how.
Joe is really speaking my language.
The intelligence. I don't know how you could be that intelligent to convey such complexity in that form so beautifully. It's magical, man. That's March. Everybody needs to watch that. Like, oh my days.
Yeah, I've watched that. Yeah,
you watched the Rotimi?
Yeah, I've watched all of it. Yeah, I've watched.
I'm the only one that's not watched it.
No, you need to.
I'm really proud of you, Rotimi.
You need
I've watched a lot of anime, man. I've watched so much. Like, I've been taking a break now. Like, I'm just sticking to one anime, because before I was expanding to it was like a new anime every week. Like, I was watching one about what was it? It's the New World, I think. About where the psychics and and it's way into the future. I've watched so many different ones, but yeah. But going back to the point that Rigel was making about emotion, the end of A Silent Voice, the animation there, or the old
my god.
Tell them.
The end of that in particular, that Silent Voice is one of the few animes that nearly got me, man. Nearly got me because masterfully done from the music.
It got me. It got me.
The song, the song that he used, everything, the song, the animation, when he takes his hands off his ears and the crosses, the X's drop down and everything, then the zoom out and I can go ages.
Hey, what? So, what's your favorite part about that movie, though?
For me, it was just I think it was development of the characters, the way they explored their depression and and how they interacted with other people in their goals in life, and also it kind of has the same feeling. Welcome to NHK, has that same like tone, that same feeling, in terms of redemption, what it means to live, and that's what I liked a lot about A Silent Voice. And also I mentioned also the artistic detail, how they had the crosses over people's faces. And it kind of is very it's a very nice touch. It's also very realistic. You see people every single day, but you don't actually see them in a way. If you know what I'm saying. It showed that the way it illustrated that simply putting X on people's faces, and we can see how the character, and when all of them come off at the end, and you can see him in bursting tears, that gets you, because you can see that now he's starting to understand that he has value, that he can see other people, he can communicate with other people. That's what I loved about that show.
Very, very nice thoughts there. Very, very. I agree with what you just said, especially with when the X is falling off his face and emotion in much comes in like a line, because like that's something Shaft, the studio that does it, they do it really well. Like, those scenes where like Kiriyama, like you can tell he's stressed and like it goes black and white, especially in the first season, and you see like it's just like a perfect depiction of his mindset in that moment. Like it's all dark and grey, like the world is like clashing around him. Like I really can place myself in his shoes during those scenes. And like also Rigel was mentioning about Violet Evergarden, like everything about that show production wise is perfect. My favorite scene is definitely when she jumps across the pond and it's like she's actually gonna make it, but obviously she doesn't. Like everything, how that scene looked, like how it was slowed down, you can kind of see what the writer was seeing when he saw Violet jump, and it's like it was majestic, that scene. And Monogatari, that's another one that Shaft do. That the way they use like these random shots is like abstract. It's just very well arranged, and it kind of makes because Monogatari is a light novel, I feel like they adapt it really well and they make it a lot more dynamic, because when you get down to like the basic of Monogatari, it's just conversations, but they manage to engage you for like 20 minutes and you're like, after an episode's on, like these guys were literally just talking to each other, nothing really happened. But because of the way they put certain scenes together and like they animate and they take liberties with the animation, it makes it really engaging. And that's one of the reasons why, like, once you've watched a couple of series, once you watch Monogatari, I think that's one of the shows, if you can get through some of the weird moments, because there are definitely some weird scenes there. Like,
very soft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what's that? What is it Katana Monogatari or something? Like
yeah, that's another one.
It's a different one, but it's the same author, isn't it?
Yeah, Nishio Isin.
Yeah, that one's amazing.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you liked that one, you'll like Monogatari. It's just if you can't get through the weird bits, I don't blame you, because I can't co-sign some of the stuff he be writing. Can't co-sign it at all.
Yeah. But I want to like shout out like some old like animation, because I'm the biggest up when it comes to old animations, because I find it hard to get into. But stuff like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, even every Studio Ghibli movie I've watched so far, I don't know, it's old. The animation is not as strong in quotes as what they have now, but the way they do movements, like the movements of the eyes, stuff like that. It's just, I think it was just beautifully done still, and it's even more impressive because it's, I like to say back in those days, but like in the 90s, and the way they still animate such quality, like interactions with people, how they do action and stuff like that, especially with Cowboy Bebop and Trigun. It was just, it's amazing because everyone's talking about like the new animations and how crisp they look, but I think when it comes to movements, how people walk, how people like jump across, stuff like that, I think those little things, shows like that do it so well.
I agree. Definitely those Studio Ghibli movies, they hit. They're just like, it's just a different quality to them. Like you don't really see captured in the modern stuff that I've seen. I mentioned it before, Princess Mononoke. I really like that film. The way they animated the certain characters, Ashitaka and San, and like with the wolves, and like the way they're just running through the trees and stuff like that, and the story that they kind of craft through and the colors as well. The colors are very, I guess, vibrant. That's I think the word I want to use, because like it's a different feel. It's like, it's very different, and it's I think very high quality too.
Yeah, I think the old animes had to rely on telling like the story with the movements of the bodies, the hands, the eyes, the facial expression. I think not every, obviously, most animations now, they just get you to how crisp the thing looks. Because Demon Slayer, even though it's really good, sometimes like the expression and stuff like that, it's like, it's a bit bland, it's just still, they require the explosion of animation. But with Studio Ghibli, with Cowboy Bebop, even Yu Yu Hakusho, the way they move their hands, they jump off stuff, you can see the bending of the knee. It's slightly a bit more realistic. That's why I think CGI gets a bit more when it comes to that aspects of things. But old school is just, I think they tell more of the story with the movements of the characters.
Yeah, but also another one is Made in Abyss. If you guys have watched that,
that's so good.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
It's on the list for me as well.
When they go gory in that show, or when they want to depict a tough moment, it's some of the it's hard to watch, but that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah,
it's crazy.